everybody, Charlie here with Rookie Farmer. Today we're going to do a little work on the Ford 530 small hay baler that we have. We're coming up into the hay season, so we're trying to do our checks, a little bit of maintenance, greasing, all that good stuff before we start the baling for the season. Behind me I usually keep my hay baler stored in the barn, and I store it with the hatches open because we have wasp problems. So I'd like to keep it open so that way I can inspect everything before I have to open it, if I needed to open it in the field, and make sure there's no gigantic wasp nest in there whenever I do open it up. So I keep the hatches open on it so I can inspect it before I get ready to use it, and then shut the hatches. So anyways, I'm going to get this thing hooked up to the tractor, get it moved around towards the shop so I got access to my tools, and then I will get it set up for starting of setting the twine fingers, and we'll get started. All right, we are here. I've pulled there's two bolts that hold these, and then I got a chunk of wood holding this knotter assembly up, and then we have this knotter assembly where I can pick it up. So basically what I've done is I've taken, I noticed that there's quite a bit of play in here. I'm not sure if that's normal with this type of with the twine fingers here, and it's easier, I think, to get to the zerk fitting that's in the twine finger with these lifted up out of the way and with the clevises disconnected. So I pull the clevis pin out so that way I can pump grease in it and cycle that around to make sure I get, because it doesn't move that far when it's actually doing its thing. It only moves like 90 degrees. So I wanted to make sure I got grease all the way around, so I disconnect that and then pump my grease in it and cycle it around so that I can get the grease all the way around on that post. And like I said, this is the way it is, so you can see that there's grease all the way around the T portion of it. So pardon the noise in the background. I got a lot of wind today and someone driving by with a loud muffler. These are the twine fingers. We'll kind of go over the checking the setting on these. Once I get this all greased back up and then pinned back together, we'll go over how to check the setting on your twine fingers. But we'll give a little terminology here. This is where you adjust the twine finger. That's moving the twine fingers forward and backwards. So we'll get to that point. And then this is for adjusting how much tension you put across the bill hook during its cycle. So we'll cover more on that here shortly when I get this all put back together, and then we'll set it up and do the setup and check our twine fingers. All right, our twine fingers are connected back up, and I have a new Carter pin in place. They're all greased up. When you're looking at these, when your your knotter is in the normal compact position and not tripped, you want your twine fingers. Let me see if I can't really, hold on a minute, put something in here to block this up. Hopefully it'll, all right, this is your twine finger, and what you want is that point when it's in the non-trip position. You want this point basically flush with this edge of the opening right here. So you'll want to double check that. Of course, it's kind of tough because there's generally a lot of slop in this thing, but I would set it to when it's got tension, that it's not, when you put tension back on this arm, that it's not poking out really far into that thing. So that's a good way to test it. So basically you want them, like I said, it's for both sides. You want it to be flush in the non-tripped position. Also, if you don't have them, I mean, go to Harbor Freight, get this assortment of cotter pins. You go through them like crazy. I don't reuse them. I put new ones in every time I do it, and I do simple bends so that it's not as hard to get back apart in these tight confined areas. And I just make it where it's not coming out. So I just put a slight bend on it so it's easy to get it out. So anyways, now what we're going to do is we're going to thread the needles down here, and we're going to go ahead and put this into a cycle of operation. so you can kind of see what the twine needle does and how to make the adjustment for it. All right, we have our needles strung through the eyelets, and then I tie it off in the back here like you would normally do to start a hay process. So you have your needles in. Actually, I need to change that where it goes underneath. So, but we'll go ahead and run with it because it's most likely going to break it. But we're going to basically trip the knotter assembly, and we're going to go up and rotate the flywheel until the knotters start to pass through, and then you'll see this twine finger start moving. So you're going to want to be really slow when you do this and keep checking it a bunch. And when you see this start to move, and then when you see it, you go to where, like I said, this point on the end of your twine finger that I'm pointing out with my finger here, the point of that should be basically in the middle section of this needle. It'll be in the middle there, and you're going to want a distance between this right here. So hold on. All right, so we have that's tied up. We're going to get ready to roll it. I wanted to iterate, before you do the twine needles, you have to make sure that your timing is correct. So the timing check should be done prior to setting the twine needles, or the twine fingers, making sure that they're set correctly. So what we're going to do is we'll come up here, rotate the flywheel until as you can see, the arm starts moving. And what we're going to do is rotate it really slow, keep checking, and then as you can see, the tip of the needle is right there, and the twine finger is still neutral to that position. So what you have to think about is that in a baling sequence, the string's not going, I'll go over the string once we get it into that position, but talk about the string. But right now it's in this neutral position still, and we're going to keep watching the arm as it comes up, and basically come in here, and it's still in the neutral, but you can see the needle is starting to come up into to the knotter assembly. But it's going to get ready to start moving here in a second. There it is, it's starting to move. Just a little bit more. All right, you can see that the needle, the gap between the needle, like I said, there's play, so you have to really keep an eye on that. But the needle has it's about 1/8 of an inch, and you want the same thing for the other one. Let's see if I can lift it. You can see, yep, you can see in there. So the twine finger is about 1/8 of an inch gap between that. So what that's going to do is, right now the string, let's see if I can lift this out of the way. The string should be coming back this way like it's on a bale. So the reason for that gap is to make sure that it can grab the twine with this hook, so that it's going to, as you continue to rotate it, this twine finger is going to go this way like that, and it's going to keep going. So what it's going to do is push the twine into this area right here. So you want to make sure this notch is in time correctly. So that's another video, another time. So as it pushes it up, like I said, this is going to be back this way. So you want that needle to be able to grab, or the twine finger to grab this string and force it into here as it rotates. So let me set this back down. So we went all the way up, and then voila. As I noted before, as you can see, the string is pushed in here, but it's not touching the twine finger because it's not going around a bale, so that's normal. But naturally it would be around a bale, so this thing is holding tension on this, so it would be pressed up against the bill hook, and you want the bill hook, the string to be touching the bill hook. the twine finger was set correctly, but that's how you set it. And when you would set it, when you want to set the distance between the point and the needle, you would use these two bolts, and you can see the slots, so you can adjust it this way. And then in the beginning, I think I mentioned it, you wanted the needle, the point, to be flush with this when the thing was in the normal compact position, not in the knot tying position. So you would adjust this clevis pin to set it to the neutral position on here. So that's what that's for. Clevis is for setting the neutral. The two bolts with a slotted plate is to set the distance between the twine finger and the needle itself. And like I said, you want about 1/8 of an inch gap between there, so it can make sure that it can hook the twine as it comes through in its cycle of operation. So that's it for this video. Please like and subscribe. If you have any questions, comments, or you want to see another video in regards to this hay baler, I'll do my best to see what I can do to help. You know, bear in mind, I am not a professional. This is just me tinkering with it and going through my manual and learning the hard way. I have had nobody to teach me how to do this. I've had to try to figure it out on my own. So if you have anything, just drop a comment down there and I'll see what I can do to help. Anyways, please like and subscribe, and we'll see you on the next one.